Hello, everyone. I am Zoe from Music Mukbang, and today we are talking to 33 Cole. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And you're East Coast based, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in Syracuse, New York right now. I go to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, does what you're studying have anything to do with the music that you make?
Yeah, it's called the Bandier program up here,
Okay.
or like music business.
Yeah.
Um, so like when I got here, I wanted to obviously like keep like doing the artist stuff, but learning like as much as I could about like the music business, I thought would be really like beneficial.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
and like the community, like kind of in the program is what kind of attracted me. Like everyone's really like tight knit and supports each other. It's really sick.
Yeah, for sure. And so, prior to college, had you been making music?
Yeah, I didn't really take it too seriously. I started like when I was 15, I think, either 15 or 16.
Okay.
And it was kind of a joke. My rapper name was Baked ZD because like my real name's Zach Daciano
Hmm.
and like the initials are ZD.
There you
So I thought I was slick, but it was kind of cringy. But after a few years, I like kind of just started to take it seriously, but not post anything for like a year or 2 years so that like I could like wait until I was like really confident and stuff. And also kind of just like hone my craft. But yeah.
go. Right. That's awesome. And do your friends at college and your classmates and stuff, do they know that you make music? Do you like, are you comfortable sharing it or is it kind of like a low key thing?
I feel like at first like I wasn't really comfortable sharing stuff because like I wanted to have like some sort of buzz like outside of like the campus or the school like to do
Yeah,
that. Um
absolutely.
but I feel like within the past like 2 years, like everyone's super encouraging. Like obviously like my friends and everybody has always been like super supportive, but just in terms of like people that go to school here, because like I'm usually interacting with people that are like in school for the music business. So they're
Yeah,
like really supportive. And yeah, it's a great environment.
that's super nice. And I bet like that probably helps. Is there like a pretty like rich or I guess large local music scene on your campus?
Yeah, it's been really cool seeing it kind of like grow since I got here. I'm a senior now, but
Okay.
when I got here, it was like so Clara went here,
Okay.
and I don't know if you know Claude, but they're an
Yes.
artist. Yeah, um, they both went here and dropped out. I think after their freshman years. So that was like exciting to kind of come after, but the house show scene wasn't necessarily like super built up. There's always like cool venues and stuff, but
Hmm.
I feel like when I got here, it was mostly like folk music and like some indie stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, I feel like my music taste hadn't really matured, so I didn't really dive into it that quickly. But over the course of the last like 4 years, it's been like crazy to see like not only like how many really really talented artists like just like choose to go to school here and like show up, and I'm like, holy shit, like these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but also like venue managers and like there's a lot of people that just want to be involved in like the music scene. So like yeah, it's really like growing and it's
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds like the perfect space to do that for sure. And like definitely, there's different ways that people, cultivate their craft and like, form who they are as an artist. And I think it's interesting that you're doing it a little bit more like the traditional like college route and stuff. Did your parents have any impact in that? Were they like you have to go to college?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I had had like any buzz before I went, it would have been like I always made the case like let me take a year off or like let me like just see what's up and
Yeah.
like do this full time and see if it works.
Yeah.
But that like little thing that's like, damn, I wish like I could have like moved, I don't know, to the city or LA or some shit
Yeah.
and like try to work it out. But now my parents have always been like really supportive. I feel like they didn't fuck with my music too heavily.
Are they pretty like pretty
They're
low?
kind of chill. Like
Okay.
I felt like originally when I was like I was making like kind of joke songs, like they're nowhere to be found on the internet. But
Okay.
like
I was gonna say because your catalog is very tight. It's very
it,
tight. It's got, the singles and a couple features and
yeah, no, I mean I feel like I only really like started to fully take it seriously like last September, so or last August.
Right.
That's when the whole rebrand happened. So since
Got
then it's been really tight. But before that, there was a lot of funny trials and tribulations and shit. But
Gotcha. Did
yeah.
you grow up in a musical household or was
So
this kind of something that just happened?
not really in my household, but like I have family members that like my grandpa was not like a pop star, but he had like this one record in like he had like this one record in like the 60s, I think, that
That's
did well in like North Jersey. And like
what is it called?
it's called Don't Go Steady with Freddie.
All right.
Um I'm not sure if you like I think you can find like the 45s like that they were selling like of it, but other than that, like you can't really find it. But like it was always this kind of like mystical thing that like
Yeah.
my family like had like a music career, but like when they were a lot younger. And like he was always like playing the sax like around the house. And like my mom and my dad both listen to a lot of music, but they don't really play anything. So it was
Gotcha.
kind of up to me to like pick it up in the house and kind of like not necessarily start that because like my family does have a lot of musicians, but I wasn't ever like pushed too hard to do it. I took guitar lessons back in the day, but
There you
I
go.
did not like them.
Awesome. I I totally understand like where you're coming from for sure. So, do you remember like a time where like you made your first song? Or does that is that just kind of a blur?
Yeah, it was actually in like I took this radio class my freshman year of high school,
Okay.
and like one of the I think it was the end of the year assignment was to make a song, and they had like it wasn't a recording booth like they were like radio booths, but
Yeah.
like good enough like tech and stuff for like me to kind of get my start. It was like a remix to do you remember like All the Way Up by like Fat Joe and I think Remy Ma?
Yeah,
Like All
that sounds
the Way
familiar.
Up, like I think it was like 2015. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like a verse like over that beat. And I remember like writing in my room and like getting mad excited like that like I thought like it sounded good. It sounded awful. Like I still have it, but I was like I remember that was like the
The
first
first time. That's
time.
awesome. And I feel like it's cool that you were able to have like someone kind of like a class to kind of like help you push yourself into that.
Yeah,
So tell me a little bit about the rebrand.
right.
So originally you had the baked ziti name,
Yeah.
but then like what other changes happened with the
So
rebrand?
I did that for like I want to say like a year and a half, 2 years, like freshman and sophomore year of high school. Um, which I try to like not look back and like cringe on because like honestly, that's just like a waste of time. And like I feel like
Yeah. And I mean like it's part of it, right?
yeah, like that's how I kind of put all the pieces together. But yeah, I was that for a couple of years or like a year and a half, and then kind of like matured and realized like if I wasn't really taking it seriously, like I didn't want to like be putting stuff out. So I rebranded from that thing, like Big Z, to just like my name, but like shortened. It was Zach Dossie. Um, and it's actually that page is still up on Spotify, which is funny because I still get like these monthly reports from Spotify that like show how many listeners you have,
Yeah.
and like since I'm still connected to both accounts, it'll be like 33 Cole had I don't know a couple 100,000 monthly listeners, and Zach Dossie had 15, and
Yeah.
I like it's just to see it like both the numbers right next to each other,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I put out like 4 or 5 songs through the Zach Dossie thing. Never really got any traction. And like I wanted to kind of we had this lecture series at Syracuse where like some people from the industry come and talk every week.
Yeah.
And this guy Sycamore, who's I think Travis Scott's A&R,
Oh, okay.
came and he talked about, and I was like a big Travis fan uh,
Yeah.
a few years ago, and he came and talked about how like their team wanted to treat like Travis Scott as like a character instead of like who like the artist actually is. Like you have to like build a brand around that. And that was the first time I kind of connected that like maybe having the brand be just like my name was like a little constricting in terms of like what I could like create like in terms of like the image and the brand
Yeah.
approach and everything.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like make a new thing, start from scratch. And I remember I was still Zach Dossie like 2 summers ago or last summer. And I went to the city, and it was the first time I like really linked up with artists that like honestly anyone in person and like made music together,
Yeah.
um, other than like some of my friends. So that was with actually like Pop Tropica Sluts.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and like I remember leaving that and being like I need to kind of revitalize everything and take a different approach. So I remember I was like driving away from the city and I like the exit 33 like sign and the light just hit like really specifically in like a good way
Yeah.
and like it shined across my vision and I like connected that with like I never was like an angel numbers or like a astrology person.
Astrology girly.
But
No?
yeah, that's not really me. But I thought it'd be a cool kind of name to start like from scratch on.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and I think like I made a joke before that like my name sounds like a like Xbox gamer tag, but I feel like we were like moving towards that just in general for like solo acts. Um like I feel like just in general, like there's more names that I'll look at and like have no fucking idea how to pronounce,
Yeah.
which is honestly me. But it is kind of intriguing, and it feels really internet. Like it feels like um, it kind of sets you apart from like just using your normal name, or at least if you're using your normal name, like or your real name, kind of like changing it up, like just in terms of how it's stylized. Like I don't know, I like it. I like music these days feeling really like tuned in with the internet. Like I just like how that's like.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of interesting how, like, nowadays, I feel like I know like a person or I recognize their Instagram handle, like almost like equal to, if it's someone I know in person, almost equal to like their name, like calling them by their actual name. And I think especially like running Music Mukbang, having not met like a ton of people in person, I'll remember the handle, but not always the name, not always like whatever else. And so then when it's like you meet people in real life, you're like, wait, hold on. Like,
And I feel like honestly, like even like in some aspects, that's like a really cool thing that like it like allows like a lot of. I feel like it heightens everyone's like creativity.
yeah,
If you're an artist, like I like a lot of people with like really strange like usernames that aren't necessarily like either their real name or their artist name.
mm-hmm.
Um, but like I feel like uh it I don't know exactly how to articulate it, but I just enjoy some aspects of like the kind of what I was talking about before, like the internet music kind of connectivity. But a lot of other parts of it, like I don't want to necessarily endorse like the fact that you have to kind of create like an image or a brand to like really connect with fans and like do well in music. Um, Obviously that's the case, but I feel like everyone should continue to be themselves. Like I don't want like TikTok and like social media and stuff to just kind of like dilute people's personalities or like heighten them for like a for
Wow
clout.
factor. Yeah, yeah, cloud. Exactly. No, that definitely makes sense. And I think that is the root of it, right? Is like no matter what you do, just be yourself,
Yeah,
because it's like it's so easy to get wrapped up in like the TikToks shit and like the reels shit and just be like, okay, what will get likes, okay, as opposed to like doing what you genuinely enjoy. So, but I did want to talk about Shiloh. So that is your biggest song, the most streams. Why, in your words, why is it like so high in streams? Why has it performed as well as it has?
um obviously we were talking about TikTok, but definitely like a big factor is the TikTok side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call it a cop out because like I love the style of music, like it's some of my favorite music. But the Shiloh Dynasty sample stuff, I knew beforehand that it just performs well.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like regardless of like the quality of like who sampled it, or like that beat, but like the lo-fi beats to study to stuff,
Hmm.
like it had a huge moment in like 2017, 2018 with like XXX.
Yep.
Um, but it kind of died for a little bit. And I had the song ready for like 2 years before I put it out because I thought like that kind of style had died. But when I eventually got to posting like TikToks of it, it just kind of connected with a lot of people. And that was like definitely my first time feeling like the viralness of something,
Yeah.
uh, which has a lot of good things and a lot of bad things about it. But yeah, I think it was like just TikTok and like a combination with the sample, and also like I think what we brought to it was like I always want to recreate this feeling that I got from like when I was like an early Brockhampton fan in like 2017. I remember like, or just like when you like fall in love with like an artist or a project or a band, like in general, like you get this like, or at least I got this like really like exciting feeling when it seemed DIY and when it seemed like kind of off the cuff and not necessarily like fully polished.
Right.
Um, and like honestly, like the sample, like we tried to make it like crunchier and like lo-fi. Um, but like once we started like putting in like drops and like trappier drums and like I would like rap a little more on like the shallow sample, um, it started to feel like really reminiscent of like that feeling I got back in the
Yeah.
day. So like even if I sat on it for 2 years, like whole time, like I like really love the song. I was just kind of
Right.
for a moment to put it out. Yeah,
Just hit at the right time.
totally. Yeah.
Do you find that it was a lot of pressure to release something after that first song going so viral like that?
It was definitely something that was like in my mind. Just because like a lot of everything today relies on just like the algorithm picking it up. So it's not really up to anybody to decide like if your next song like will do well on TikTok or Reels or any sort of like algorithmic platform. So like I felt like I just wanted to continue making music that like I like to listen to and like I was confident in. But it was
Right.
definitely hard for like a month or two um to compare like the success of like certain posts or certain songs with that one. But I think just in general, like I'm like happy that I'm really happy that that happened, and like I don't want it to dilute like a song that doesn't perform necessarily as well. Even if like I really like the song. So
Right. That makes sense. And I think it sounds like you're very grounded in like making what you enjoy. And it's
mhm.
just kind of like, fuck it. If it does well, it does well.
Yeah,
If it doesn't.
I want to take like definitely like moving forward. I definitely want to take like a better approach at all the marketing and kind of have everything seem like way more concise. But yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, what I care about would be if like I want to play the song on repeat. Like sometimes, like I know we're doing this New Music Friday thing towards the end, but like Breakin's album came out the other day, and
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
it gave me like immediate imposter syndrome because like I was just like, damn, Breakins is so fucking good. Like I was
Yeah.
jealous, but I don't know, like because like that's not my favorite music at the time right now. Like isn't not to sound like self-absorbed, but right now my favorite music is the new Breaking stuff and
Mhm.
like the shit I've been making these past couple weeks. And like that is like something I have to like recognize as like it gives me like some like spiteful like not necessarily negatively, but like it kind of gives me like the urge to be like in the booth more, producing more, and trying to get better. So
No, for sure. Cause I mean it is such like a cutthroat, industry, and it is very like what would be the word? Like very all over the place. So 1 second you're hot and the next second you're not. So it makes sense that you're so tuned into what your idols are doing, what musicians you admire are doing, and like I feel like it's pretty natural to be like, okay, I want to be that good. Like I
yeah,
want to, push myself to do more.
like for me though, for that, like it's always I'll pick things to like compare myself to or stack myself up to that like I enjoy a ton.
Yeah.
And like once I have this like new relationship with that where like it's not necessarily jealousy, but it's like I want to beat you, like it kind of will sometimes ruin my relationship with like someone's music. But um I feel like that's a good thing. Like it's kind of like a sport, like you want to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask you, so your song has to be, it's got Robin on there, like the cover. Did you decide to place that there? Are you a Teen Titans fan? I want to know.
Well, I am a Teen Titans fan. I was actually thinking about that the other day because like I was just for that song, I just got hit up by like Caps Lock and like his team
Right.
to do like a verse for the remix. So I wasn't really involved in like what cover they were gonna use, but I love Teen Titans. Like I was watching Teen Titans Go the other day with my little sister, I think, and it just made me. It's a funny show, but it just made me sad about the state of like Cartoon Network. Like Teen
Oh,
Titans is like hella mature. Like I might actually rewatch it. My friend was rewatching Batman Beyond like recently,
oh
and
yeah.
I watched a little bit, and I was like, they don't make shows. The DC shows are not good anymore. It's sad.
Yeah, I know. I know you've done a song with Picture Us Tiny. I know you've done some shows. Can you tell me how you guys met and how like when you played your first show?
So we met like the first week. He goes to Bandier in Syracuse as well. So we met
Okay.
like first week we all got here. Um, he like I knew he was a producer just I think from his like Instagram. So I hit him up and like that was like the first honestly like the first like relationship with like a producer I've had that was like in person.
Hmm.
So it was definitely like really cool to like not only like immediately get to school and like be able to like lock in with somebody like so frequently, but like we became like really good friends too. So we're actually like still roommates. Like he's around right now. I
Oh,
think.
perfect. We'll have to have him come say hi.
No, we played our first show together. I think it was my first show. Last year, like first semester. It was in December, and it was like just like a spin show, kind of like these Syracuse shows like are in like a lot of these sketch like I'm sure most house shows like on college campuses are just like the sketchiest like sweatiest basements.
Yes.
Um, it was a great vibe for like a first show definitely. It was really packed out too. And we have like kind of different styles. Like we kind of went more into like his lane for Pet Bear, which is like the song we have together.
Yeah.
But it was cool to like be on the same bill. And like I come up with like my auto tune like pedal, and like it's just me, and then like it's a full like punk band, which is like I don't know, it's cool to see like the dichotomy of it. But
Yeah,
like people come out like for whatever, so like it's really cool that we can do shows together a lot.
for sure. Absolutely. What how like is do you have a favorite show that you've played?
Maybe honestly, like this year, the first show I did when I got back to school. It was at this venue here called the Harrington. And they just have like a really like for being in like a sketchy basement, they have a really like impressive like setup.
That's
Um,
cool.
and like the sound was really good. But yeah, I think it was just like the best I performed. And it was like the first time like I really wasn't nervous beforehand, and like whole time I was just kind of really having fun with it. And it kind of took me a little bit to get over that. Like I think it was like 5, 6 shows in until that went away. But I still like in general haven't really performed a lot. But like I said, like now like I treat it as something that's like exciting, like really fun for me. So like
Yeah,
definitely lock in more dates and stuff.
for sure. What would be your dream venue to play?
Dream venue. Probably honestly, I haven't been to like too many shows, but like one that I think would be like attainable within like the next year or so would be like the O2 Brixton.
Okay.
Um, I did like a semester in London over the last, it was like right at the beginning of 2022.
Hmm.
And I went to a Slow Tie show there, and I also went to a Denzel Curry show there. And it was just like a really sick venue. And like I love London. I'm trying to potentially live there at some point. So like that one would be cool. But since like I went to my first show when I was like a sophomore in high school. Like it was kind of late. I
Who'd
don't
you
really.
see?
I saw Childish Gambino, who is
Nice.
my,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was great. I guess I was like kind of waiting to see like my favorite artist.
Mhm.
But Gambino's like definitely my like not to be corny, but like my inspiration, like to do all this music stuff. Like
Yeah, he does it all. He does comedy. He does
exactly, yeah.
like I can't comprehend how someone can do all that. That's crazy.
That was like when I was first getting into it, like, and I was making jokier kind of stuff. Like getting into Gambino and like just Donald Glover in general, like was what might have like kind of checked or changed that perspective to like really want to take it seriously. And like he was kind of the first person I looked at, and I was like, it's not corny to be like that artsy fartsy, like doing the music stuff. Like that's like something that like people can like kind of live inside of. So
Yes.
I um, definitely look up to him in that respect.
Yeah. I feel like he is the epitome of yeah, I definitely agree. I think he's a good role model for that for sure. So your two newest songs, now correct me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but Kaz Katana, is that right?
Yes,
Okay, dope.
totally.
And then Money Bag. Can you tell me about those songs?
Yeah, so Moneybag was actually a song that like I've had finished since I made Shiloh. It was like around the same point. So I've
Okay.
had a long um and it kind of just made sense for it to come out in November. I was like I was working with some like really cool management on it, and it was like really exciting to like have kind of like a team behind me for the first time
Yeah.
because just in general like I've kind of stayed keeping it like DIY and like just kind of done a lot of the promotion myself.
Hmm.
Uh, so that was really really cool and fun to see. And we got the feature from Rich and Miri, which we thought was really really cool. And he's just like the kind of the first time I like secured a feature that was not like someone I had like a real personal relationship with yet. Um, and someone that also like I listened to their music before like we did something together. So that was really cool to see. And then Kaz is another like Shallow Dynasty sample. Um, but
Kaz Katana.
Kaz Katana,
New track.
yeah, that was something I made over like the course of this summer. I was staying in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is
Okay.
like I had a job at this like recording studio, and I like had like a really bare bones apartment up there because I was only there for like a month and a half. So like all I really had to do when I got home or like before I had work was just like make music and work on like producing and shit for the first time. So that was like that's the first song I put out on like streaming services that I made the beat for. So
Cool.
I was proud of.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely wanted to. I took like a 9, 8 month break from really like posting and like putting out music. So now that I'm like definitely back, I want to be like dropping songs at least like monthly or every 2 months just to kind of keep that output going.
Gotcha. And do you find yourself like creating something pretty much every day then? Like, is it very natural for you?
Yeah, something. I mean, I don't like to like necessarily like block out time like where like I'm gonna be making this song or like I'm gonna be doing this because like a lot of it does like come from like that lightning in a bottle kind of thing. And I feel like sometimes like going back to a song, I think Earl Sweatshirt said something like along these lines, but like a song has to like make itself sometimes for like that X factor to be there. And like if you don't finish it in that time period where like those like juices are flowing, like it's really hard to go back and like finish the song. That's been like issues I've had multiple times. So like yeah, just kind of locking in. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you like a night owl or a morning person? I,
Um, I'd say probably not a morning person. I mean, I like don't have that hard of a time like getting up in the morning, but like
right.
I just feel like in terms of like when I'm creative, I'm definitely more creative like what at night or like I'm laying in bed like trying to go to sleep and like I'll get an idea or something. But like
Yeah.
to answer your last question, um I would say that like day to day it's not necessarily I'll be working like on my laptop every day. Like some days I'll just let like inspiration hit. But like
Hmm.
I feel like every day I'm at least like trying to write new stuff or like finding melodies and stuff. Like it's always in the back of my mind that like I could be getting like an idea right now. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure, for sure. What was I gonna ask you? I lost my train of thought. It's great. Oh, the night owl thing. Is there a class that you've taken thus far at your school that you've found has been super helpful in the way that you make your music or in the way that you promote yourself?
Um, I'd say just in general, like we have a lot of classes that are like just dedicated to like the music business major. So I feel like every class for that has like developed like a really like well-rounded like view of the music industry, but not necessarily like anything that reaches over like onto the creative side. I feel other than like visually, like we had to take a few classes in the like television, radio, and film department, and
Okay.
one of them was like this like visual I forget what I think it was like multimedia storytelling. And that was like I learned a lot about like shot structure. Um and not that I've like necessarily like applied it yet because I don't really have too many visuals. It's something like I keep in mind like when I'm making TikToks and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, the whole visual landscape is definitely gonna get fleshed out like within the next 6 months. So
Cool.
I feel like
Awesome. So that leads into my last question is what's next for 33 Cole? What do you have going on? I know you
let's
said more singles, but
yeah, I think it's like a single heavy year, but I definitely want to get some music videos out and kind of like build that world. Also like just stay grinding. Honestly, just like to all artists, like stay grinding on TikTok is
yeah.
uh like it's the worst, but like it's just like so important these days that like it has to be a thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, like hopefully tour at some point this year, some sort
That
of
would be cool.
maybe like a northeastern tour. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
dope. Do you have a management that pushes you to do TikToks or are you self-motivated with that?
Um Originally I was self-motivated. But kind of like what we were talking about before, like it's hard to keep that motivation if things aren't like all hitting at the same level, like after you kind of blow up.
Yeah.
Mm. So yeah, I definitely had like a weird relationship with it for a while, but these days sometimes it's some management pushing, but mostly it's like I just like I go to class or like I watch like some people talk like about the music industry online. And it's just like beating the drum, like the TikTok stuff. So like I'm always hearing about it, and every time I hear about it, I'm like, fuck, like I should make a TikTok. Like
Hmm. That
I can
makes sense. It's always in your head, right?
yeah,
Um,
because like I the next like Shiloh like type situation for me, like or like whatever artist is always like possible with like the next thing you post. So like just staying consistent is like
yeah,
important.
absolutely. Do you have more merch in the works? I know you worked with IMRE.
Something cool like that the next time I drop merch. So like we're thinking about that right now. Like
Cool.
different items that aren't necessarily just like a hoodie or a t-shirt, like something
Yeah.
that's wearable but like interesting, like just floating around like ideas for like possible other garments and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not sure. I have to talk with IMRE to see if we're gonna do more stuff together. We definitely will, but yeah, like kind of drawn up the concepts for that now.
so single heavy year, more shows, and some
Definitely.
merch in the works. Cool. Thank you so much
Yeah, no
for coming
problem.
on the show.
Yeah.
And where can everyone follow you?
It's at 33 Cole on basically everything. 33 COL 3.
Perfect. Thank
Thank
you. Yay.